thinking a lot about how safe riding a bike is every day, because it seems that the news and all the publications you see online and videos you see online kind of make motorcycling seem dangerous. But we have to have like a serious conversation about that. And I can tell you, after about 100,000 miles of riding in the city, I've probably seen everything you've heard of in those weird stories about accidents and stuff. And I guarantee you, a lot of those accidents were the rider's fault. And what do I mean by that? Well, when I first started riding and early in my riding career, I was doing a lot of research, watching a lot of motorcycle crash compilations, and I'd read all the comments from people about what the car did, and you know, people would never speak about what the rider was doing or didn't do. You know, you'd see a crash while white lining and everyone would say, well, that car came out of nowhere, he didn't use his signal. Well, you should have known that the car was going to do that, and instead of maybe going 50 miles an hour while white lining, maybe you should go 15 or 20 miles an hour while white lining, so that you can react to somebody switching lanes in front of you without looking. Or when people turn, you know, left-hand turn in front of you is a very popular one in the intersections. You see it all the time in the videos. A lot of the times the bikes are speeding through these intersections at such a speed they wouldn't stand a chance at braking before the accident. And, you know, bikes stop a lot faster than cars do. It's just the way it is. We weigh so much less. We weigh like a fifth of what a car weighs. So you have time to stop, you have time to react. And a lot of times I don't understand how these guys get themselves, or actually I do understand, but at the same time I think they're foolish for going so fast. Don't be in such a rush. You know, enjoy the ride, especially when you're with your friends. Don't be in a rush to keep up with them. That's very important. But I used to attend all these training seminars upstate as a motorcycle safety professional for New York State, and we used to talk about how if you take, you know, 1 in 3 motorcycle fatalities is someone who's legally impaired, whether they're drunk, high, or whatever. So that's 1 in 3. Another 1 in 3 is someone who is not licensed or has no endorsement or training on a motorcycle. So that means 2 out of 3 deaths on a motorcycle, the rider was legally impaired or had no license or formal training prior to riding. So they themselves are making motorcycling dangerous. It's not the bike, it's the operator. That 1 in 3 that's not part of that group, I'm willing to bet a lot of money that those people were speeding and ended up being part of the 46% of all motorcycle accidents clipping or rear-ending another vehicle because they're just going too fast. You just got to take it easy. Motorcycling is safe, it's fun if you're wearing your gear, full face helmet, gloves, over the ankle boots. It can be safe. Yes, people do stupid stuff in cars, and sometimes you can't predict it, but you can react to it. I've had one sort of major, I wouldn't say it's even a major, I had one accident on a bike in the 10 years that I've been riding, and it was on a dirt road, and some sponge-like material, kind of like the insulation they put on the floors underneath the rugs, got caught up in my front tire as I was braking. So my front tire just basically was wrapped in this stuff, and it was all up in my caliper, and right, it just made me fall down. I was on a dirt road, thankfully, so the bike didn't sustain too much damage, and nor did I. but I was going about 30 miles an hour. And had I not had over the ankle boots on, my foot probably would have been, foot or ankle probably would have been broken. I gotta be honest, guys, if you think that motorcycling is super dangerous and that's what's holding you back from getting a bike, look at that bike. You know, take the class, take a safety class. Do it the right way, you know, the way you'd learn to like do firearms and other stuff that's, you know, serious. Do it the right way and you'll come to realize motorcycling is actually very safe. And you'll meet a lot of guys in the community who are in their 70s and they'll tell you they've been riding 30, 40 years and have never had an accident. Those are the guys that when they were younger, as adults, had a nice level of self-control where they didn't have to go crazy on the motorcycle to get from point A to point B and have this horrendous accident that you hear about on the news on your favorite highway in your local town, or see on a video on some viral website, and it just scares you out of riding. Also, the way social media has, or not, I should just say social media and just the news in general has made motorcycling so scary that even if you do decide to take the plunge, your family may not be ready for something like that. Because in the back of their mind, every time you throw your legs over this bike, you're taking your life in your hands and you may never return. And I ride 60 miles a day on my motorcycle, at least, going to and from work. And that's over 1,000 miles a month. And I ride on expressways, parkways, side streets, by streets, whatever. And yes, I've had some close calls, I'm not gonna lie, but none that have made me reconsider riding. Only ones that have told me to change my techniques for the next time and not to do what I was doing. So you have to remember, when you graduate from one of these schools and you finally get your motorcycle, you know, you haven't completed anything. That's just the very, very, very beginning. Learning on a motorcycle, the learning process, it never ends. It never, ever ends. And even after 10 years, I can take a quick 5-10 minute ride and something might happen to me that reminds me, I haven't seen it all yet. People are unpredictable as hell on the road, and most of the times they don't see you. So with that being said, it can be very safe. You take all the safety precautions, don't rush, get formal training, enjoy yourself. Mostly don't be in a rush. Don't be late on your motorcycle. That is the worst thing that you can do, is to be running late for work on a motorcycle, because you will start pushing yourself to dangerous levels. You know, things like that you just have to remind yourself of. Because in a car, if you're stuck in traffic on the way to work, you have to sit in it. But on a motorcycle, you might all of a sudden decide you want to go through the traffic, and maybe you've never done that before, and now you're pushing yourself beyond your limits because you're in fear of being late for work. You know, you just have to remind yourself of what you can and can't do, and stay within your limits and grow naturally with the bike. Alright guys, probably going to talk about this later in another video, but for now I want everybody just to ride safe and ride hard.